For 1100 years, no army on Earth could break this city. Behind these walls stood the last of Rome. 1,000 years of empire, resting on 60 feet of stone. And in the spring of 1453, the stone was about to be tested.
People ask me what the most important day in history was. Unfair question. There have been an awful lot of days. But I have an answer. It's a Tuesday. The city he took was so rich, so beautiful, so impossible to conquer, that people stopped using its name. They simply called it the city. May the 29th, 1453. By lunchtime that Tuesday, the Roman Empire was gone, killed in a single morning by a 21-year-old with the largest gun on Earth. Constantinople. You're looking at it. This is the 53 days that ended it. And you already know how it ends. That is not the part that will keep you up at night.
Now, you were probably taught that Rome fell in 476 to barbarians. 1,000 years before our Tuesday, Rome would beg to differ. When the West collapsed, the East simply carried on. Same empire, same laws, same eagle, and it was ruled from this. Look at it. The greatest city in the world. Guarded by the sea on 3 sides, and on the 4th, the walls. 3 lines deep, tower after tower, running clean over the horizon. For 11 centuries, every army on Earth came here and broke. The Huns, the Avars, the Persians, the Arabs, twice. Everyone came. Everyone failed. But here is the thing about empires. They do not die at their walls. They die from the inside. By 1453, the empire is the city, and precious little else. Plague took half its people. Poverty took most of the rest. 50,000 souls wandering a capital built for 1 million. There are farms inside the city walls. It is a magnificent ghost. Its emperor is this man, Constantine, the 11th of that name. 48 years old, a soldier since boyhood, and flat broke. He has inherited a corpse of an empire, and he simply refuses to bury it. He writes to every king in Christendom, begging for help. What they send him, in the end, amounts to very nearly nothing. 200 miles away, a 19-year-old has just taken a throne. Mehmed, second of that name, Sultan of the Ottomans. Europe takes one look and decides he is a harmless boy. The harmless boy speaks 5 languages, and at night, alone, he draws maps of one particular city. He has wanted Constantinople since he was a child. Some men want a prize. This man wants a destiny. His first move as Sultan. A fortress on the straits, thrown up in 4.5 months, strangling the city's supply lines from the sea. The Turks name it Bogaz Kesan, the throat cutter. As diplomatic signals go, it lacks a certain subtlety. Now, If you want to know how empires actually die, watch this next part very closely. In 1452, a Hungarian engineer named Orban walks into Constantinople and offers the emperor a monster, a cannon larger than anything ever built, a weapon that could save the city. Constantine looks at the price and cannot pay it. So Orban walks out of the gates, straight across the lines, and offers his monster to the boy.
Give me bronze and gold enough, and I will build you a gun that will shatter the walls of Babylon itself.
You will have 4 times what you asked. Build it.
4 times what he asked. On the spot, the Emperor's monster.
One thing only I want. Give me Constantinople.
Had found a buyer. They call it the Basilica. 27 feet of bronze, hurling a 600-pound ball of stone over a mile. When they test it, they have to warn the town beforehand, so that nobody hearing the blast assumes the world is ending, which, in a sense, it is. 60 oxen and 400 men drag it 140 miles to the walls. And do consider what is happening here. The strongest walls ever built are about to meet the largest gun ever made. A gun that was offered first to the man behind the walls. He simply couldn't afford it. There, in a single receipt, is the entire fall of Rome. The 6th of April, 1453, the siege begins. 80,000 men outside the walls. Inside, 7,000, defending 12 miles of stone. Do the arithmetic. It comes out to roughly 1 man for every 3 yards of wall. They have exactly 1 professional, Giovanni Giustiniani of Genoa, famous across the Mediterranean for a single speciality, defending the indefensible. He sails in with 700 volunteers. Nobody invited him, nobody is paying him.
You have walls, Majesty. Now you have someone who knows how to use them.
The Emperor hands him the entire land wall. And having no gold to give, he promises him an island. Lemnos. Payable, if they live.
I cannot pay you, Giovanni. You know this. An island, if we live. It is all I have.
Then I will try very hard to live, Majesty.
The great gun can fire only 7 times a day. It must cool between shots, like something alive, catching its breath. But each shot lands like the fist of God. And every night, in the dark, the whole city comes out and rebuilds what the day has broken. Stone, timber, barrels of earth, bare hands. A race between the cannon and the shovel. And for 7 straight weeks, I am delighted to report the shovel wins. But hope is now a matter of arithmetic. The granaries are emptying. Every loaf is split 8 ways. And so, every evening, the whole city climbs the sea walls and watches the horizon. If help comes at all, comes by sea. On the 20th of April, 4 Christian ships run the entire Ottoman fleet in a rolling battle beneath the walls and make the harbor. The city goes mad with hope. And Mehmed, watching from the shore, rides his horse into the sea, screaming at his own admiral. He very nearly beheads the man. Hope, you see, is a dangerous thing to lay siege to. The harbor is sealed by a great chain that no fleet can break. So Mehmed decides he won't break it. On the night of the 22nd of April, his men grease a road of timber over the 200-foot ridge behind the harbor and haul 70 warships overland. Sails set, drums beating, the crews sitting at their benches, rowing the air. The chain guards the front door. Mehmed carries his navy over a mountain. At sunrise, the defenders look down into their own harbor and find the enemy floating inside it. And that morning, something in the city quietly breaks. The walls still stand. It is the belief that cracks. And there we must leave them. 36 days remain, and the worst has not yet begun. You already know how this ends. Next time, dear listener, I will show you how it happens. Until then, the walls still stand.